In times of crisis, mental health stands as a cornerstone for resilient societies. It empowers individuals to navigate challenges with strength and adaptability, fostering a community worldwide ability to recover and rebuild. Prioritizing mental well-being ensures that societies can withstand and emerge stronger from adversities, creating a foundation for collective resilience. So, our next topic in panel discussion is mental health as a pillar of resilient society during crisis. I feel delighted to invite Mr. Omkara. Originally is a pilot by profession and airline captain. In 1995, he has done his yoga teacher diploma from Shivananda Yoga Vedanta Dhanvantri Ashram, India. From 1996 to 2020, he is working as a founding director of Shivananda Yoga Center and Ashram in Hungary. He also visited Shivananda Ashram Rishikesh. In 2007, he became founding president of Hungarian Yoga Teachers Association, and in 2020, he became honorary president of Hungarian Yoga Teachers Association. On behalf of United Consciousness, I feel delighted to welcome Ms. Anna Galovicova. She is founder and chairman of Slovak Indian Friendship Society and coordinator of the projects. As director of Mental Health Center in Lipto-Jakobovan, she has been leading trainings for the psychophysical and psychospiritual awareness. She has developed the relaxation and stress management training methods. She has been running yoga courses in many towns in Czechoslovakia since last 52 years. Dr. Anna is also a chairman of Slovak Anti-Poverty Network and executive coordinator, European Anti-Poverty Network in Brussels. She is a co-founder and chairman of Parliament World Religious Slovakia. It gives me immense joy to welcome and present Ms. Ruchi Dhawan. She is an experienced management professional with extensive experience of talent management, learning and development, and organization development. She has worked in different roles of HR for 21 plus years, mostly in BFSI and manufacturing sectors. She is passionate about learning and capability building and cultural transformations. Currently, she is in Indigo as a Vice President and Head HR, ACOS Engineering, Cargo, Agile and ER. She is responsible for 20,000 plus employees across domestic and international locations. She also leads the employee relations for Indigo. She is certified in HEY, Job Evaluation, R Analytics, HRBP by the Aon, etc. She is certified life and leadership coach from ICF and certified NLP practitioner. She is an avid reader and has keen interest in spirituality and Indian philosophy. She is PhD scholar in pursuing her masters in Vedic literature. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Ruchi Dhawan.
Krasimir Logofetov from Bulgaria is the chairman of the Rishikesh Association, dedicated to advancing yoga practice and its role in personal development. He specializes in teaching restorative and therapeutic yoga. Krasimir is also an active member of the Bulgarian Association for Yoga and Yoga Therapy, where he contributes to organizing yoga therapy seminars, training courses, and practical exercises. His work focuses on enhancing the benefits of yoga through comprehensive education and practice.
Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tobar, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomer is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
So excited to be here with all of you today. People watching us and will be watching us from different continents of the world. I, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, welcome all of you. We welcome you, Krasimir ji from Bulgaria. Honor to have you. Anna ji, Slovakia. Namaste to
Namaste,
Slovakia.
namaste.
My friend Omkara ji from Hungary. I love your library behind. Namaste, Ruchi ji. So nice to see
Pranam.
you again. Pranam. So, dear friends, our topic of discussion today is mental health as a pillar for resilient societies during times of crisis. World over, we see lots of crises going on and war and other human tragedies. Everything that happens to human being leaves some impression on the mind. As UNESCO said that war begins in the mind of the people, so as peace has to be born in the mind of people only. So this discussion on mental health may be helpful for many people who are going through it and who know somebody who is going through it. So let's begin with the fundamental question for the discussion. What is mental health? What do we mean by it? So let me begin with Omkara ji. Omkara ji has have been a pilot. So you have seen things from top, and Ruchi ji is also from aviation industry. So I'm glad to have Omkara ji here. Let's begin, Omkara ji. What is mental health?
It is very easy to answer for that. If you are flying on a plane, you are believing that the pilot will land safely, and the pilot needs mental calmness, good concentration, and positive thinking in case of emergency. So I try to practice this with people every morning from 5:30 since more than 600 days without any break. We are practicing more than 18,000 people, and we know that the meditation is a very good tool how to have a peaceful body, peaceful mind, and spiritual development. To summarize, which is very important, there is a country, there is a neighboring country where the bloodshedding is continuously happening, and what we feel that if the people in a country cannot be peaceful, who has no inner peace, that means in their outer part also there won't be peace. So my opinion is to continue with the help of United Consciousness for many years to help the people an integral development from the body to the astral body and the causal body to have physical, mental, and spiritual health. This is a very good, yoga is a very good tool, and we use this tool. So we appreciate everything for India and of course Vikrant Kumar Singh and Ruchi Dhawan Sharma. Thank you.
Thank you, Omkara ji. You mentioned that everybody wants pilot to land safely. So when we talk about pilot, so who is the pilot of our life and what do we want to land safely in our life? So may I come to Ruchi ji? Ruchi ji, Omkara ji mentioned that pilot needs mental peace. So in our life, how do you see importance of mental health?
Yeah, so just carrying on from aviation. So if you notice the doors of the pilot cockpit, it says that no worries to be taken beyond this point. So we follow and notice sometimes when you fly Indigo, it says that no worries that we carry beyond this point.
Hmm.
Coming back to your question, that yeah, mental peace is most important. Uh, and it's, if you look at our own Indian wisdom, the scriptures, as it says that one's mental, physical, and spiritual well being are all interdependent. It's not one. If you ask me in one sentence or one word, I think it's ability to bounce back from adversity. If if we are, mentally very, very strong, that ability to bounce back, we have no control on situations, but we have control on ourselves. And if we have it, we'll always bounce back and peace will be restored.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Ruchi ji mentioned that we can't control the situations, but we certainly can bounce back, and that Purushartha is certainly in our hands. We have our friend Krasimir ji from Bulgaria. Krasimir ji, situations do impact people. And as Ruchi ji rightly said, bouncing back is important, but is it that easy? As they say, it is easier said than done. So, what will be your approach and what will be your guidance to the people? How can I remain peaceful in the midst of the chaotic environment?
Thank you, Vikrantji. This is a very important question. How we can convince people and help them to become more calm and to manage with hard times of crisis, something that happens every day, like pandemic, disasters, a personal hardship, or other bad things that can happen around us. It is only the person who can do something to improve his condition. And fortunately, people who know yoga know that yoga gives the full path of personal healing, development, and self-realization. So yoga gives us the tools that can help us to improve, at first place, our own mental condition, and in this way to put a strong foundation for improvement of mental condition of and mental health of entire society. The society that surrounds us at our working place, our town, our country, and in the world as well. So tools are very well described, and unfortunately, most of the people are lazy to read about them, to start practicing. And here is the role of people who are knowledgeable and willing to provide support to society, to encourage the surrounding people, and in this way to influence their improvement, to start following the path of good mental and healthy mental condition by doing regular practice, regular asana, pranayama, also other ways of easy, starting by easy pranayama techniques, which are easy to be performed, but they lead to effect, and by this to encourage people that they are on the right path.
Thank you.
So these are the tools who we can be used, and they are very well described in yoga philosophy and
Thank
science.
you very much, Krasimir ji. As you mentioned that yoga provides a tool how to be peaceful in the chaotic environment. But majority, and for that, maybe masters need to initiate, because majority of the people, Annaji, you have been working for anti-poverty network. You chair anti-poverty network in Croatia, in Slovakia. So I would like to know that people don't approach when they need mental health. You have seen people, you have worked in societies. So how can we reach out to those people, because majority of the people don't ask when they need for help?
First, we should be aware that we are not born as a small child, newborn children, maturated, neither physically developed, neither mentally developed. So unmaturated people are, we can tell, on our planet majority, because it is not only question that of nourishment or physical activity as mental, as physical development, but in mental development we need much more. We need to know mental training, how use our mental potential. Our newborn children were born with this mental potential, and we don't use it. And when we are aware of reality that around us are unmature people, we also can be among them unmature. So we need to do some discipline and courage. We need, as Swami Vivekananda used to tell, way to heaven is through hell. We should face many kind of problems, especially now in Europe. We face war. Just morning I received a message from my son from Prague that yesterday Putin spoke on press conference that he will send a nuclear bomb to Prague because there is some military system against Russia. So it is not what we speak, some discussion, beautiful, harmonious discussion, but we really face reality that on the planet Earth, many unmaturated people are decision makers. And what to do that we practice. Yoga is a really ancient system, very effective, but how much people really and deeply practice yoga? And why not so deeply? Why not the daily sadhana, spiritual exercises, mental exercises? Because they are not motivated to step out of our comfort zone. We live in comfort zone, and we need to be courageous and not lazy, not full of fears. And such way self-development start. And I am very happy that you focused on mental health, because without awakening, we are not able solve other top problems as poverty, as war, as climate crisis, and all kinds of top and hot problems.
Thank you, Energy. You rightly mentioned that world needs more mature leadership to take world in the right direction. As Agenda 2030 of United Nations, we are seriously off track as a whole world. I understand and I appreciate what you mentioned, and you said that we need to practice yoga. Very less people do it. Omkara ji mentioned that yoga manifests at three bodies: physical body, mental body, spiritual body. Omkara ji, lots of people are watching us. We don't have control over situations, as Ruchi ji said, but we can control of our responses. So what should be my response at the mental level? If I have a difficult situation around me, how I should program my mind, so that I can see it differently, or so that it should not affect me that much. So out of those three levels, I'm specifically talking about Sukshma Sharira or mental level. What will be your suggestions for the people, how to work on their mental level so that they can respond back to the situation better?
First of all, I think to introduce positive thinking. Positive thinking is not a very, very complicated way how to improve ourselves. It is, let's say, before the meditation, we have to learn how our thinking way is working, and to understand that if we create a thought in our mind, slowly it will be an activity from it, and from activity it will be a custom, and from all our custom creates our personality, and from our personality will become our faith. That means if we wish to change our faith, our personality, we have to start from our thinking. And if we understand what does that mean, positive thinking, it doesn't mean cheese. it means that we have to use these Pratipaksha Bhavana techniques from the old India. If we have a negative thought, for example, we have a bad feeling, we have to immediately use the opposite one. And this is a very good training. If I would be a minister of culture, I teach it in every school what is positive thinking. And if we wish to have a better country in Hungary or anywhere in the world, that means we have to cultivate much more our mind. Instead of learning a lot of things, first of all, we have to know how to modify our thinking, and the second one, how to use perfectly our mind to have a peaceful outcome, because our whole personality works much more better.
Thank you. Thank you, Omkara ji. You mentioned about Pratipaksha Bhavana from Yoga Sutra. Counter your thoughts with some positive thoughts. This is what, as you mentioned, it is in our hands. Ruchi ji, you are in HR. You deal with so many human traumas of the employees. And so if I am a working professional, I had a bad day today, even my boss is critical to me, almost every situation is out of my control. Now I seek your refuge. What tip would you like to give me? Audience are listening. What tip would you like to give me? Because I'm really going through a tough mental state. So how should I keep myself balanced?
So I think it's very important, which something which I follow and mostly I tell all, like the situation you're telling is usually happens that, a person has a bad day and he or she comes and talks about it. I will first say in Hindi and of course translate in English. Man ka ho to Ishwar kripa, man ka na ho to Ishwar iksha. Something which happens, what you want, it just happens that way. That means it's a blessing of God. But suppose it's not happening the way I want, then it's the desire that God wants to make it happen that way. That feeling of karta bhav, that I am doing everything, is very important to set aside. We are here to do our karma, but everything is not in our control. In life, especially this generation, they think too much, they seek too much, they want too much, but they just forget to be to have the joy of being. Just I start from there, that you're born as a human being. Is it not so special? Why you are not born as a tree or an insect or any other living organism? There's a purpose. Look at the larger purpose. This too shall pass. This is just a day, and find and have the feeling of gratitude. There's so many things in a day, in a moment happens, that we can be gratitude of than complaining of what did not happen my way. So I think, in short, if I have to summarize, that's how I do and have been following, and it really helps.
Perfect. Count your blessings, and when good things happen, call it God's grace, and when things happen other way around, God's will, and have a higher purpose of life. That may really help, as Ruchi ji mentioned. Krasimir ji, you gave special emphasis on pranayama and asana to get as a tool for mental well-being. Would you like to give some practical tips? I have never ever heard of yoga. I don't know anything about yoga. I'd seek your refuge. I had really a bad day. I'm going through the worst time of my life. I recently got one very close person who died. I'm going through lots of traumatic situation in life. I seek your refuge. How can I be little bit more peaceful in my mind?
Thank you, Vikramji, for this question. I think there are some very easy practical exercises, and I used to give this breathing practice to everybody who wants immediate effect. and didn't practice yoga at all. So the easiest way to take your mind out of the bad thoughts could be achieved through practicing Brahmari. So Brahmari is a very easy practice. It creates some noise that is taking the mind away from the bad thoughts, and it gives a good effect. So it is applicable almost to everybody, even without any practice behind in his back. Brahmari is also not only a mental practice, but it is breathing practice, and it has a spiritual effect as well, because one of the important things to do and go away from the bad thoughts is to connect to your inner self. And when you connect to your inner self, you connect to the universe. So this is a very good practice that could be given as a start to everybody who has emotional problems and want to get immediate effect.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Krasimir ji, for that method or tool you mentioned about Brahmari Pranayama, focusing on breath, and visualization techniques also you mentioned. These techniques can certainly help us to deal with the difficult problems. But if I don't want to come out of my comfort zone only, I'm not even recognizing it as a problem. I'm suffering, but I'm not sharing it with anybody. And I'm even lying to myself also that, okay, things are okay. I'm not reaching out to anybody so that some people can suggest me this. Annaji, you are dealing with people day and night. So how can promoting mental health awareness reduce the stigma and create stronger situation of communities in the face of diversity?
You know, everything depends on personal attitude and love each other. When poor people who are helpless and without positive thinking, they are often dependent on alcohol in my country. So even such kind of people can become active and positive and follow Utan way up when they meet a person who dedicate free time, who dedicate work time to help them and with heart. So this is a very good tool how to renovate land optimism among people. Second, when we work with other people and inspire them to be courageous, to step out of comfort zone, to be active, not lazy. So they follow us, and then we can help them understand that we are able to live happy life and be all again in harmony relation with others. So this is the way we do in our Slovak Anti-Poverty Network, and especially Pater Gompita, who takes care of 300 of such kind of previous helpless people and alcoholic. Now they are active, again happy, harmonious relations with families. It goes. And the yoga is one system which help us, but I prefer that we run in a soon future also interfaith dialogues, because every part of the world has its exercises and mental training. For example, Europe, based on Christianity, there is very strong spiritual exercises of Zen Ignacio from Loyola, Jesuit, and Buddhist people have their mental training. So slowly we go when there is nice, harmonious, full of love relation. We go deeper, and even people, previous alcoholists or drug dependent people or dependent on hazard, they can change completely. And even if they believe that they reach enlightenment, they can very good mental progress.
Thank you. Thank you, Energy. Energy mentioned about various religions like Jesuit, Buddhism, and other religions also offer some such solutions. Omkaraji, you mentioned about mental health last conversation. You also talked about the third level of our existence, that is spiritual existence. Does spirituality has some solutions to offer to the mental health? Like the solution you gave was very scientific, but I'm a believer in God. So would you like to suggest some spiritual solutions also? Maybe quick tips in next 2 minutes. Because you mentioned there is one more level of existence, that is spiritual level of our existence.
I think the easiest method to try, very simple, to start the meditation with listening to your breath. If you're listening to breath without any other movement, slowly you know what is happening in your mind. It is not an easy process, but it's very easy to start to listen to your breath. And first, you start with 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. And after it, what I suggest to write down what was the obstacle to listen to your breathing. And after it, I suggest to anyone, try to learn to meditate. And when the obstacles are still there, learn from a master or from a yoga teacher how to remove this obstacle from meditation, because if you are meditating, your body will be more healthy, you are getting closer to your God or to your Buddha or to your pure consciousness. So I suggest to anyone, join to our early morning free of charge meditation, and you will have many good improvements. Thank you.
Thank you, Omkaraji. You mentioned about breath awareness can really contribute. I get aware of my breath, which is nice. But majority of the people on the planet, we may teach them breath awareness, but are they aware of their bigger purpose in life? Majority of the people don't have any purpose. They are doing things because others told them to do. And Ruchi, Dhawan, who is an HR, mentioned that we should see the larger purpose. Would you like to reflect upon maybe in next 1 minute or 1.5 minutes? I am a teenager. I have no purpose. My purpose is to watch video games, see TV, go around with my friends. And I think life is for this only. So what kind of purpose and how will I identify it?
So again, taking from what Mr. Omkara was telling, that early morning meditation, I think phone is a big distractor first of all. So getting up I suggest that once you get up in the morning, to my children and to my people in the office also, don't look at your phone. Once you look at your phone, your mind is disturbed, your breath is disturbed, whatever you call, and start focusing on it. Early morning, without looking at phone, if you sit for 5 minutes, as he rightly says, start from 5 minutes. It helps. In fact, in my office, some of the groups, after coming to office also 8:30 in the morning, we do a meditation. We started with around 5 minutes. Now we go around 10 to 15 minutes. And they have gone back home, taught their children. A lot of children are getting benefited out of it. So once we find that peace in the mind, we let the mind is like a water. If it's always, moving, you can't see clearly. Once it is still, it is crystal clear. Let the mind be still. That stillness has to be brought in, which is nothing better than early morning. And I think a lot of people are practicing and getting into it. But yeah, if it comes to a children who only enjoys all these, I will never force, because this has to come from inside. It cannot be forced. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you very much, Ruchiji. She mentioned that things has to come from inside. As you break egg from outside, life ends. But when egg is broken from inside, life begins. So how can we break this egg from inside, Krasimir ji? There are many people who are watching here. To begin with, tell me one thing that I can start doing from today itself.
The hardest thing, as my yoga teacher, who is in Mahasamadhi now, is to go and sit on the yoga mat. So another one, friend of mine who is also a yoga teacher, mentioned to me that anytime when you don't have a desire, you don't feel you feel that you don't want to go and lay on the yoga mat, then you have to go and lay on it and start practicing. So this is the influence that you have to do to yourself to encourage yourself to start practicing, and by that you can serve as an example to teenagers, to your family, to society, to help to bring to build resilient societies, and to help overcome different crises that happen in our lives.
Thank you very much, Krasimir ji. Go and sit, he mentioned. Start doing it. Create an environment and things will automatically unfold. That's true. Lots of thinking, but what he mentioned is it's a call for action. So, Anna ji, you work in people directly. People don't act when they are in trouble. How can we identify? Are there some methods we can identify that some person needs mental help and we can reach out to that person to help?
Usually there is a nice atmosphere full of joy. It means, and there is action reaction very spontaneously. Such atmosphere indicate that people are healthy, mentally healthy. But there are some neurotization, some kind of problems that people don't like to go to school, don't like to go to job, don't like to go home, such or to some other group. So it means there is some kind of problem. And very good is, as it was already mentioned by Omkar, that we should who feel powerful, positive thinking, that I am not afraid and not be under fear, because where fear win, then we can't help other people. So we should be without fear, and we should be communicative. Communication is very important. That first time a person in problems will not answer, will not open heart, but when we wish, as I told previous, it is our higher level of maturation that we try to help each other be happy together. So then it happen and can be in few days that we can help to solve problems and start mental training.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Anna ji, and dear friends from all over the world who are and will be watching us. We had a wonderful discussion on the topic of mental health as a pillar for resilient societies during the times of crisis. Omkara ji mentioned in the analogy that we are the pilot of our own life and we need to land safely. And for that, concentration of mind, positive thinking, and peace is must, which may come through meditation and work on your three bodies, physical, mental, and spiritual. And yoga is a strong tool for that. He gave us some very good tips. Like one is work on your thinking, because your thinking becomes your action becomes your habit becomes your personality, and your personality leads to your fate. And how to work on your thinking, he said, start with pratipaksha bhavana, counter your thought. Whenever you get a negative thought, dispute it. Dispute your thought. When you think more about it, you will have ability to modify your thinking. Cultivate right thinking. And a strong method to start doing it is start meditating on those obstacles, on those thoughts. And if the obstacles still remain, then go to the right guru. He mentioned you can find guru outside also, and at times you can find guru inside also. And that meditation you can begin with focusing on your breath. You can start with 5 minutes and then you can further cultivate it deeper. Following this discussion, Ruchi ji mentioned that as Indigo says in their aviation, no worries beyond this point. So we need to also be a pilot of our life, and we should say ourselves, no worries beyond this point. For anything, I will be worrying for next 5 minutes, no worries beyond that point. So how to make it happen? She said that what happens to us is a chance, but how do we respond to it is a choice. And for that, she says that whenever any situation comes to us, if it is in our favor, say it is Isha Krapa, God's grace. But if it is not in our favor, say Ish Ichha, God willing. So by that, we will be having more peaceful state of mind. Second, identify your higher purpose in life. Third, count your blessings. She said, develop a gratitude list. And then she said, never begin your day with phone. Because when you get up, you are in alpha state of mind, and phones immediately takes you to beta state of mind. It's a jerk, she mentions indirectly. And then she said, the best method is you learn first and then you teach others. And she said, be still. As Jesus says says, be still and know I am your God. So first you be still, don't push. Bhagavan Krishna in Gita says, Mandan na vichalayet. People who are slow in their journey of spiritualism, don't push them. They will also learn in the times to come. So profound, Ruchi ji. And then following the discussion, Krasimir ji said that in this chaotic environment, if you want to be peaceful, when to be resilient, follow yoga. And you should identify a master who can support you in that. Start working with asanas, because when your body learn how to be still, your mind can also be still. Pranayama, your breath is also a very strong medium, because breath and mind are twin sisters. And breathing is a strong method. Visualization technique, he said that remove your mind from that problem. Think something else, which is positive. And for that, you can think of Brahmari Pranayama. And then he said, if you can't do anything, at least start with sitting on the yoga mat. Start doing something, create an environment. And the best thing is, when you learn it, set an example for others. People automatically will follow you. Anna ji mentioned that people around the world, you'll find many people who are immature on the planet. They are not matured because we don't get any mental training. In schools, we are not exposed to any mental training. That's why large potential in us remains untapped. And just behind her, I can see Swami Vivekanand. She can see behind me also Swami Vivekanand. She quoted the Swami Vivekanand, said, the way to heaven goes through hell. Those traumas leads to tranquility if you dig deeper in it. So decisions, but the decision making on the planet at times comes in the hand of the people who are less mature, and that's why we are away from the Agenda 2030. So how to begin? For everybody, we need to break our comfort zone, because world can be sustained by attitude, positive attitude and love, she said, because absence of positive attitude towards people and lack of love will push them towards, she said, alcohol and drugs. And what she said reminds me of Honorable ex-President of India, APJ. He used to say, I am not handsome, but I am ready to lend my hand to someone who needs it. So she said that Give time to others who need help. Be the role model. Lend your hands to the people who need our support and work for their ability enhancement. She said this is what is the basis of all the religion, whether it's the Jesuits, Buddhism, or Sanatana, or any religion. She mentioned, in order to make it happen, identify people around you. You will find some people who have lost interest in doing things which they like to do. It means they need help, because everybody of us should remain a natural child. But when the child is afraid and feels fear to communicate, it is a red flag, and we need to reach out to support them. Dear friends, I'm sure that in this discussion you have got lots of tips from our eminent experts from 4 different countries of the world, and I'm sure that you are going to follow many of those tips which are coming close to your heart. In gratitude, thank you very much, Anna ji from Slovakia. Tell our pranams to Slovakia. Omkara ji, tell our pranams to Hungary. I love the Hungarian parliament, one of the most beautiful parliament. Thank you for taking me there. And thank you, Krasimir ji. We'll visit someday to you also. You are most welcome to India in our February festival. Ruchi ji, you are at home only. You are in India and Bharat. Namaste. Thank you from Bharat to Bharat.
Pranam to all of you. Pranam.
Tak sme to zvládli. Veľká vďaka.